Hi guys. I don't know where I'm supposed to put this candle at the moment, but would it I wanted this to be like aesthetically pleasing for the first time. You can see half the candle, you can see the wine bottle. I'm the worst YouTuber ever. We could I wish I had a table. Wait, now this is giving like coven and my face is like orange. Maybe I could this is kind of blinding, I'm not gonna, oh my god. Okay, I feel like the setup isn't half bad. Like you can see my face still, but it's like better because this way I'm blinded and no one needs to see that much. I think we could do. No, Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I haven't been around for a while to talk with you guys like this 101, but I'm back for a bit. I've just been really busy with my new life, I would say. So now that I got like a couple days to myself, I wanted to make like a little catch-up video. And actually this time, I have a lot of things to talk about. I even wrote them down so this episode isn't all over the place like they usually are. And first of all, I hope you're doing well on these holidays. Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate. Personally, this is my first Christmas out of Turkey in a really long time. I really wanted to go back for the holidays actually, because apparently in Europe, everyone takes Christmas super seriously, and I wasn't expecting that since I've been living in Muslim countries my whole life, even though my family celebrates Christmas. So now I'm just like, oh shit, everyone's leaving for the holidays. What am I supposed to do? Oh yeah, I'll go to Turkey. But then I kind of thought about it, and see if you've watched my past videos. I've been here in Milan for the past, what? It's been almost 4 months. Wait, September, October, November, December. It's been 3 months, only 3 months, which is crazy to me. I feel like I've had like a couple years fit into these 3 months. But I didn't want to just go back home blindly in a way, because I felt like if I were to go back home right now, I would be setting myself up for failure. It took me a really long time to reset my values and kind of start adapting to my new environment. So when the holidays rolled around and everyone was like, yeah, I'm going back home, I also really wanted to go back home, I'm not gonna lie, because honestly, I miss my friends, I miss my family, and I miss my hometown, which I didn't expect to be happening to me at this time. But at the same time, I'm in a place right now where it's not like a need. I won't be going out of desperation. So I thought maybe then it is okay for me to go back home. But then I thought, what would happen after I went? First of all, I feel like it would set me back a lot, and it would take away from a lot of my progress that I've made up until now. And I don't know if this is me kind of avoiding going back or avoiding seeing the people I love and miss, but I feel like if I see them and if I go back into my old life, it would take me a harder time to readapt here. Or honestly, I don't even know how I would feel coming back here. Would I feel relieved? Would I have to readapt all over again? I have no idea. So honestly, at this point, I was like, not going may be the better choice for me. Not seeing my friends and the people I love and the streets that I've walked a million times, maybe right now would be the better choice for me. So I have decided to not go back for the holidays, unfortunately. But even though I'm really like jealous of people who go back for the holidays, but at the same time, if you'd said to me last year, oh, would you want to spend Christmas in Europe, not in Turkey, I would have been like, hell yes. Are you a loser? Why would you go back to Turkey if like for the holidays or for New Year's? So I'm gonna try and see what's gonna happen on this New Year's and try to have fun, even though I'm not with my family or friends from back home. So I'm gonna try and figure that out for myself right now. And this is kind of my only break I get from school. So I kind of want to spend it working on my own personal projects, which segues into my other topic that I would like to talk about today, which is producing music. Honestly, if you know me in any vicinity, you know how much I hated producing music. I was so against it. Not even hate it. It's just I just thought it wasn't for me. You know, you have things that you're good at and you love and you take pride doing them, and then you have these other things that you genuinely don't want to do, and every time you sit down and do them, you feel like this come up the earth. And for me, producing my music was one of those things. I have been a songwriter and singer since I was 8 years old. My problem that kept coming up every year was, oh, I have like a million songs in this notebook, but I have nowhere to put them. I have no one to produce them for me. I have no one to kind of make the type of music that I would like to be making. And when I told this to my friends, they'd be like, make it yourself, like learn how to produce. And it was in my head, producing was like, I made it such a big and hard deal that every time I would sit down, I would just get this horrible feeling in my stomach, and I just want to leave, and I just want to go and watch some TikToks in my bed. And I just made it out to be such a big deal that it just became this, like, I don't know, concept for me, this like unreachable, undoable thing that is just not meant for me. And I set all these limiting beliefs around this certain topic in my life for years, mind you. Like, I have worked with my producer that I love, and we made some really good music together, and I really appreciate that as well. But I think it's really important for me personally to kind of be able to bring out my vision, my full vision that I have in my head in my music. And I think you can only do that by yourself. Like, or you're gonna find like a miracle human being that can see your exact vision and put it into whatever you guys are doing. So because I kept running away from making my own music and sitting down and actually getting down and dirty with it, like I was just like, what do you call it? Ertelemek. I just kept postponing and postponing making my own shit. But then one day last week, I was having a really hard day. I'm not gonna lie. It was like a triggering weekend for me. And honestly, all of a sudden, I just sat down. And I've been in a real creative era of my life right now because a lot of things have been happening in my life, but at the same time, I've had a lot of space and time to sit by myself and kind of let these feelings out on paper. And it's very therapeutic right now. I feel like it's very important to have that outlet, and I haven't had that in a long time. Even in the past, I know I'm not doing well when I'm not journaling, okay? Like, I don't journal every day, I would say, but I do journal once a week, twice a week. And I don't journal like I sit down and I have my music on and I have this whole ritual. It's not like that for me. I just sit, I write down whatever the fuck I need to say, even if it's like before I go out or when I get home or before I sleep. I write down whatever I'm thinking. If I can't get it out of my head, put it all on paper, leave it. I still can't read any of my journal entries. And I know people love to look back on their old journal entries. I can't do that personally. That is not for me. I am not well at rereading that stuff, but maybe I could read the ones from like 2016 because I've been doing this for a really long time. Like, I have journals from when I was in 4th grade, I would say. Whatever, that's not the point. So I haven't had that outlet for my feelings because I wasn't allowing myself to kind of acknowledge my feelings for a couple years at this point. Honestly, but like a good year, I just didn't want to journal because I didn't want to face what I was feeling. And now I've had this good balance of alone time and space to be able to face my feelings and face what I'm actually feeling, but it being not it being all consuming and kind of consuming the rest of my life. Therefore, I've had a lot of time for my creativity to shine, and I've been songwriting a lot. And for the first time in my life, I was like, Julia, you're 21 years old. There is no better time than now. A lot of people in my age group, I would say, not most of them, but a lot of them, kind of take this age of being 21 or in your 20s, like start of your 20s, to in a way where it's like, oh yeah, I'm in my 20s, I want to have fun, I want to go out with my friends. And obviously that is what your 20s are also for, in my opinion, too. But for me, I don't think I have the luxury to just sit on my ass and just hang out all the time, you know? I feel like if I don't put the building blocks for my future right now, I'm never going to be able to do it, and I'm never going to be where I want to be. So for me, I really am like specific about the balance between my personal life and my work life and my social life. And honestly, I'm a very social girl. Like, being social and socializing with new people and meeting people is very important to me. It feeds me. You know how some people are really introverted and they like sitting at home and their alone time feeds them? My social life feeds me. I feel so energized after going to a party or talking to people and meeting new people and kind of seeing what's going on in their lives. If I don't do that, that's when I feel stuck and uncreative and kind of in a rut, I would say. But the balance here is very important. I have to have that social life in mind because I know that's good for me and that's what feeds me. And I need to have my alone time and my little creative time to work. Because if I don't do it right now in my head, it's never going to go somewhere. Like, I can't just keep expecting things to change in my life if I'm just sitting and waiting for them to change. Like, right now, I can't just sit here and expect things to go my way. I can't expect someone to find my music from a video I made 10 years ago. I can't expect people in my city to know that I make music if I'm just sitting in my room and not screaming it from the top of my lungs. And I can't expect people to like my music if I don't put work into my music. So I've really taken this time to focus on my career, and I feel like being this locked in and pouring all my energy into my work has really been good for my mental health. It is tough at times because I don't think I'm super good at balancing it out. Like, I would have one week where I'm just home all day working, and then I have this whole week where I'm barely in my apartment and I just come home, sleep, and go back out. And maybe in this next year I could balance that out more. Like, but for me, if I lock in, I just lock in. And but the point of this whole rant about my work ethic is, it's just the barriers we put for ourselves are very much invisible, in my opinion. For the past 5 years, I've postponed making any sort of music just because in my head I had a barrier and I would never be able to figure out how to make music. It's kind of like these internalized fears about our own personality, barriers that we put for ourselves, like I talked about in the kind of the last episode, which I said, for example, I always thought I was a white wine type of girl. I never thought I would like red wine until I kind of, it's a really simple example, obviously, but until I broke that barrier and I was like, no, maybe I like red wine too, you know? You can like both. Like, it's totally fine. You don't have to pick and choose. You don't have to have these barriers around your personality and never change them. We are interchanging? That's not the right word. We're ever changing. Fluid. We are fluid people, I would say. And we keep evolving and we keep changing. So being stuck on these beliefs about ourselves only bring us down, only make us not be able to do the things that we want to do. And when I sat down for 8 hours for 2 days, like a total of 16 hours, and I kind of locked in and was like, you know what? I'm not feeling well, and right now I need to distract myself with this. And it started off as like that, but then I really got into it, and I was like, and when I was able to kind of start making the ideas that I had in my head and I started hearing them back, it was over for me. I knew that and it's really hard to admit, you know, I've spent 4 years ignoring this and being like, no, I just can't make music. It's just not for me. I'm not good at it. And so what if I'm not good at it? So what if I'm not a natural? You know what? For me personally, it's good enough to have a basic beat to be able to make a basic sound, because I know what I'm good at. I'm good at songwriting. I'm good at singing. That's what I like to do. And so if I want to do that, though, I have to go through this route of making the beats and mixing and mastering. And even if I'm not perfect at it, I think even being able to get to a level to just produce what I'm thinking and what I want my sound to be is really important. That's enough for me, even if I'm not perfect at it. I'll get perfect, or one day I'll meet someone who is perfect and I'll make them do whatever I want to make, basically. And this rant obviously isn't about my music producing. It's about, I don't know, I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. Personally, I genuinely hate New Year's resolutions. But if you take it in a more light-mannered way, I think it could be fun. I like to have kind of monthly resolutions instead of yearly ones. I like to, I don't know, I haven't done this in a long time actually. I used to be very like into making monthly resolutions, weekly resolutions, even daily ones, but I haven't done that in a long time. And my New Year's resolution for this year, if I even had one, and I'm just kind of thinking about it right now, would be kind of to be more light. And I know that's very abstract, but I've spent this whole year being very rigid and scared about certain decisions and being very unstable with my emotions and kind of being really timid. Uh, but in these last few months, I've kind of really made it a goal for myself to believe, just believe that it's all happening for a reason. And I've heard a lot of opinions about, oh, this everything happens for a reason ideology. I've heard a lot of people really believe in it, and a lot of people saying, oh, these traumatic things that happened to me didn't have to happen to make me the person I am. Yes, they made me stronger, but they didn't have to happen. They didn't happen for a reason. And me personally, I'm very in the middle of these two opinions. I think for my peace of mind, I have to believe that the things that happened for a reason. Maybe they didn't have to happen, but they did. And for my own mental well-being, I would like to believe that they happened for me to be here and doing this and thinking in this way. Yes, maybe some of them actually didn't make me a better and stronger person. Maybe they really wore me down and they made me an even worse person. The cruel things that I have been through this past year, I don't think they had to happen. I don't think anyone being cruel or mean to you kind of has to happen to make you a stronger person. But when it does, and it will again and again, I think it's a really good chance to kind of get to know yourself. And I'm very grateful for it. I think perspective is very important in these types of situations of, I don't know, betrayal, change, just all around horrible experiences or just scary experiences. It's very important to change your perspective and kind of recode your brain into thinking in a way of like, this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me to get to where I want to be in a kind of more quicker route, or even a slower one, because sometimes you do have to take the slower way to get to the end goal. There's never an end goal, it's always just ongoing. But for example, the kind of changes and cruel things that have happened to me in the past few months, not even cruel things, I would say like just experiences that have felt cruel to me, have really made me stabilize and refocus on what I really want to be doing with my life and what my goals really are. And they've forced me into recoding my brain to think in the perspective of I am gonna get where I want to be and there's no other option. Like, it's just gonna happen. And I'm not saying this in like a manifestation type of way, which honestly, if that works for you, hell yeah. I think it's just, if you can choose at one point, obviously. I could not say this 2 years ago, but now I can. I think at one point you have to choose between being miserable and not. I have a lot of reasons to be miserable right now, weirdly, even though I'm living in one of my dream cities and I have great friends and I'm really thriving personally, I'm not gonna lie, but I have a lot of reasons to be miserable. And I don't think I would be thriving and well and adapting to my new environment if I thought about those things too hard. And I'm not saying this in a way where I am advocating for avoidance and advocating for not thinking about what makes you upset. But I think one thing that's really gotten me through these past few months is to have a balance of distractions, work, and inner work. Because inner work all the time, I've done that and that was horrible. Reflecting that much is not good for you. I don't think anyone needs to think about themselves that much. That just kind of gets you into a rabbit hole and you can't crawl out of that once you're in it. It's really hard to get back up. So for me now, what I'm doing differently is I'm distracting myself a lot with good distractions, like going out with my friends, meeting new people. I'm doing things that feed me in a way. But this doesn't mean that there aren't days where I don't feel horrible and I don't feel like I'm relapsing in a source of like thinking in a more negative way, thinking about things that have happened that I really miss and things that will make me miserable if I keep thinking about them. There are days where you kind of have to do that and you just have to live through that, and it's horrible. And you feel like all the progress that you've done up until that point is just gone, but it really isn't. And now that I'm talking about this, for example, I can tell that the progress that I've made up until this point hasn't gone away. So, and this doesn't, it's not, I'm not saying this in a way where you just have to ignore everything negative about your life. I'm not one to support the like extra positive movement, you know, where you're like, no, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. But sometimes you just have to choose to not be in that horrible perspective of like, oh my God, this is happening and I just can't get it out of my head and it's really making me miserable. So I'm gonna spend the next 3 weeks thinking about it. And you just have to get out of that. You can't. If something's bothering you, don't look at it sometimes. You know, if journal about it, write about it, think about it, have a couple hours where you do think about it and you do cry about it. But after a while, you can't keep picking at your own wounds, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, if you've lost a friendship, if you've moved countries, if you've been through like a life-altering experience in a way that is very emotional for you, you can't keep reminding yourself of it. That's just cruel. That's just like torture to yourself at this point. You can't be like, oh my God, I lost this friend. We had so many good memories together, and keep looking at their Instagram, or I don't know, keep looking at your pictures together. Or like if you've moved, for example, you can't keep being like, oh yeah, but this in my country was so much better. This I miss so much. I miss my friends. I miss my family. If you keep doing that, you're just gonna have one foot behind and it's gonna be stuck there for the rest of your life. Sometimes just, I don't know, I don't like using TikTok terms, and I don't think this is a TikTok term, but it is now. It's like you just have to radically accept that this is your new life, and if you were meant to be in that situation that you were in, you would have, or it'll come back. And you just have to accept it and move on and just keep like, I don't know, I like to think of it, and I've been telling my friends, I feel like I've had horse glasses on. I don't know like what you call it in English. In Turkish it's like alt gözlü. And I keep saying like sometimes you have to put like the horse glasses on and continue with your life. You can't look back until you're kind of able to look back. Like sometimes when you're halfway there or whatever, there's no halfway, but when you keep going forward, sometimes you fall down and you look back and you can be upset about what happened, or you can make peace with it slowly. I think it's not wrong to kind of force yourself to keep going. I think it's very important if you have moments where you also self-reflect, because otherwise that becomes avoidance. And even me, I've been talking about this for 14 minutes. I don't think I'm fully able to do that yet, but I think it's nice to have a balance of some sort and stability. Balance and stability is my New Year's resolution, I guess, if I had to have one. Guys, I had like 4 more topics to get into, but I guess this is gonna have to be it for the video, because I've already been speaking for 25 minutes long and I don't want this to be super long and boring. So thank you for tuning in, and I will be doing more of these soon, hopefully. I hope you've been enjoying my vlogs and my music, because I am coming out with new music that I'm producing myself, as I've said in this 20-minute long video. 25 now, whatever. So I hope I'll see you in the next one. I don't like to plug myself, but honestly, fuck my Instagram, fuck everything. Just listen to my music, guys. It'll come out soon. Be posted, and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And as Lord says, the temperature is unbearable until you face it. Okay, bye.